So for this lesson, we're going to be looking at identifying noun phrases. Now, a noun phrase is all built around a noun. Now, you remember from yesterday that a noun is a thing, it's an object, it's a something we can touch, and it's the thing we should be really looking for here. So a noun phrase, however, is a little bit more than just a noun. Now, I've got the noun towards the back end of it, but obviously we've got some space for a little bit more. Now, we may remember this from going over it in class, but a noun phrase needs an adjective with it, and it also needs a determiner. So a good way of remembering it would be D-A-N. So it's a Dan. A noun phrase is a Dan. Now, you could have two adjectives in there if you really wanted to, so it could be a Dan, but for nice and simple purposes, let's just keep it as a D-A-N. Determiner, adjective, noun. So the noun is obviously our thing. Our adjective is a description of that thing, a word that describes the noun. And then our determiner at the front is something that introduces and provides additional information about the noun. Now, you'll notice it is just a phrase. There's no verb in there. It is just a phrase, so it doesn't make sense necessarily on its own. It's a bit of expanded description of that noun. So let's fill this in with some examples. We could have cat, a donkey, a hat. We could have a painting. I'm going to move myself up there. We could have wizards. Notice it's now plural, so it's not just one wizard, it's a plural noun, wizards, and same for snakes. So let's just bring some adjectives in to describe my nouns. We've got beautiful, so we've got beautiful cat, magical donkey, pretty hat, ugly painting, old wizards, and mysterious snakes. So all of those work, and those adjectives work in any pairs, really. I mean, we could quite easily have a beautiful hat, or a beautiful painting, or beautiful wizards, or we could have ugly donkeys, or an ugly cat, or pretty snakes. So we've got an adjective describing the noun, and we've got a noun. So that's two things to look for. To complete the noun phrase, we need a determiner to introduce that noun and provide information about it. So if we have a look across here, some possibilities is the, this, and many, some. There is going to be an attached list of determiners around, so just to give you a reminder. But there is quite a lot of them, and when we put them together, they start making a noun phrase. So the beautiful cat, a magical donkey, this pretty hat, an ugly painting, many old wizards, and some mysterious snakes. Now, these last two suggest that there's a group, so many old wizards. So the many old cat doesn't quite work because it's not a plural, but we have many old cats if we made it into a plural. So that's something to worth remembering. Now, you may have noticed I did something slightly strange here. I started on the right-hand side of the page, which is a bit odd when we read from left to right. So the reason I've done that is because the key to spotting a noun phrase, which is going to be your task today, is to look for the noun first. So in my text, I was looking for a noun, then I'm looking for an adjective that is describing that noun, then I'm looking for a determiner. Okay, this middle step, of course, there could be a couple of adjectives in there. Within my noun phrase, there won't be a verb. So look for the noun first, look for a description of it, then look for the determiner introducing it. Put the three together, that is a noun phrase. For the ease of colour coding, we're going to call noun phrases red because the whole thing is red and it's based around the noun to try and remind you how to spot the noun phrase. So today's task. So after a few problems with permissions yesterday, we've moved the English task today to Google Forms. So inside the post for classwork or on the stream for Tuesday, look for English Tuesday, and it's a Google Form one, so a little purple tab on it at the side. Give that one a click, and that will take you to a blue Google Form that looks a little bit like this. Now, the aim of today's lesson is to spot and identify noun phrases. So what you're doing is you've got a series of short sentences or several sentences, and all you have to do for each one is just identify the noun phrase from it. Okay, so in this one, Chair looked at the bronze spear pointing at her neck. So I'm thinking that the noun phrase in this, I'm going to look for the noun. So the noun is spear, and there's an adjective describing it. So I've got bronze spear, and I've got a determiner in front of it, the. So I've got the bronze spear. So I'm going to copy that and put that into here, my answer box. Now I need to make sure that I keep the punctuation as it is there as much as I can. And I'll type in my answer, or I could copy and paste if I wanted it to. So I'll put in the bronze spear. Now I need to make sure that I'm spelling these right, because if I don't spell them right, it will obviously come up wrong, and the spelling is there. You work your way through these. Some of them have got quite a longer amount of text, some are quite short, some are towards the end are a little bit tricky, and there's several of those to work through.